Welcome to On the Line With. I'm your host, Hanley. On the Line With is an arts podcast with a deep dive on mental health, substance abuse, and many social issues and causes at the forefront of our society. Join me every second Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern as I sit with various guests to discuss their art, personal stories, and inspiration from behind the microphone. You'll be on the line with me, Hanley, every second Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you. Welcome back to On the Line With Season 2, Episode 9. I'm your host, Hanley. Today I'm here with Circa Beatz. I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself. So go ahead, my dude. Introduce yourself. Let him know what's up.
What's up? It's your boy. Circa Beatz with a Z. A Z if you're from the States, you already know what it is. Beats and DJ, all of that. That's what I do. You already know. Let's get it.
We'll get into it. So, we've known each other a long time, my dude. It's going on probably over a decade now.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we met when I started making music when I was G'd up. And then I transitioned into my last name when I was B&A with Split.
Word.
So.
Word. Classics.
Yeah, man. That was a good era. Like I do with a lot of the guests from that era when we were chopping it up and working together, whether it was just you at the radio station with Dynamic and DJ Alive or just beats and cuts in general.
Right.
What do you think about that era compared to this era now?
It's different. It's definitely different. Mostly on like a promotion and marketing kind of thing is like where I see the most difference really. But like, you know, even the feel of music at the time, you know, it was just a different era really. And I wouldn't say it's better or worse, technically, because I still love this era. But yeah, like in terms of like the local scene, in terms of like the Ottawa scene, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I would think it was very just different back then. It was just different. Like, we're all kind of with each other. Everybody was
intertwined.
Yeah, you know, together, working together, technically. You know what I mean?
If you were working with one person, there's someone else they were working with you, or most likely working with as well.
Exactly, you know?
Yeah, so let's talk more about that era. Like, your beats then and now, I'm sure you've progressed in your own self-satisfaction and progression. Would you say that you progressed moderately or aggressively, or... Because it's been, like I said, 10 years, maybe a little, maybe give or take a year, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, like it's different in total. Like I was making beats before for like artists and stuff like that a lot more than I would be later on, like throughout my whole 10-year kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like just doing live beats, like it was just a different feel. Doing live beats opposed to doing beats in the studio and then just waiting for the artist to rap, you know what I mean? And like, or being the DJ behind the rapper on stage and stuff like that. It was like really different in terms of me being like a live performer, beat performer. So, I mean, if I were to say if it were moderately kind of like stepping up my game or getting better, like beats were getting better just because I was doing live stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just put my like DJing and beat making in the same kind of, like I DJed. So like I knew how to control the crowd, you know? So like when I did beats, it was just kind of, you know, it just worked hand in hand when I was just able to perform live beats and do it like a DJ, you know what I mean? Like get on the mic as well and just like try to control the crowd. And I guess that's what kind of got me more.
Yeah. And
notice out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're probably not more, I wouldn't say more. I don't mean it to sound like that. I'm sure that a lot of people recognize you for your DJing before they realize that you're a great beat maker as well.
Sometimes it's like that for some people, like especially if you heard me on like the Cypher Show on you know, on CHUO, or like if you saw me at a show DJing behind like an artist or something, you know, then you would see me as a DJ first. But a lot of people actually knew, like a lot of artists on the other hand knew me as a producer first.
Yeah.
You know, and like
but I mean the general like public, like you think they recognize you more as a beat maker or right now, or as a behind the artist?
A beat maker.
Beat maker?
A beat maker, yeah. Or more, I would say a beat performer, because everybody knows that I'm just like, I do how I perform, fast fingers, all of that. Like, I have that nickname. But like, people know me more just because I've been producing and doing like live beats, like, performing and, beat battles and stuff like that. Like,
who gave you the nickname like Fast Fingers?
Actually, I think it was someone from CRB. I think CRB rap battles.
Shout out CRB rap battles.
Right, shout out to Jugga. Already know.
Yes, sir.
Like I think it's someone in there. I think it was some like rapper in there. He's like, "Oh, Fast Fingers," and because I was doing a performance at a CRB and like, yeah. I can't remember what his name is.
You are quick on those tables, bro. You are fast on those tables. So they're not lying.
Yeah. Word.
And so in that era that we were in, what do you miss most about it? Is there something like specific you miss most about it?
A lot more studio interaction. Like, a lot of artists liked to be in the studio. Not saying that they don't do it like today, but I mean, like, in terms of like working with other artists and like
nowadays everybody's just sending it through drives and stuff. They're not really. It's not as much organic as it used to be, I find. Because of the way social media is.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it is easier to say that at this time because we are in like kind of at the end, hopefully, the pandemic.
Hopefully,
but it's like just kind of normal for people to do that now, and it was getting more popular. Just sending stuff over the net. Sometimes it is easier in a situation, but like back in the day, it was more like we had to be in the studio. We had to meet up and like I like to travel as well. Like I like to go to Montreal and like Toronto a lot. So like going between there and going to different studios, and like back in the day, it was just more interesting because everybody loved to be in the studio, and like that's what we had to do. That was the only option. What I mean? So it was just more interactive, and I liked it more.
Yeah, I think if I got asked that question, if the tables were turned and you asked me that, I think I'd say the same thing.
Word.
Because like I know a lot of artists now. Like when I was telling them I'm working on a small EP, and they're like, "Well, I'll jump on it if you want. I'll send you a verse," and I'm like, "Well, why can't we just hit the studio together? We're in the same damn city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it happens.
But I mean, I remember when I was making music back then, I was working with artists like in the States and stuff. We just send the vocal tracks through email, and stuff, and like we found that like then to be like a hassle because like you're getting someone else's vocals, you don't know how they typically want their sound to be, and then you send it back, they send it back, you send it back, they send it back. And nowadays it's like they send it and they like it, and it's just put out the next day as a single, and like
it's fast.
I remember me and Mike and B&A, we were putting out mixtapes like almost monthly on just instrumental beats just to put out there online.
Word.
And like now I see singles dropping like every day from people, and I'm like, why didn't you just build an album? It's just different to me.
Yeah, I mean it works differently if you think about it. Back in the day, like you can put out an album, put your whole soul into your album, and then you can literally tour off that for a whole year.
Yeah,
like facts, you could. But like today, it's not necessarily working like that. You know what I mean? Like there's so many artists that like some people don't have the attention span to listen to a full album, or like just like keep listening to that repeatedly. You know what I mean? So like
social media has caused our focusing and like attention span to diminish.
It has
because for example, there's that TV channel like for your phone called, I think it's like Quibi or something. I forget what it is. It's like 10-minute shows, like episodes of shows, and Kevin Hart does it, and all these other famous people do it, but they're only 10-minute episodes like weekly, and that's because like the attention span, I guess they read the analytics of people on YouTube in general and saw like they only watch this much of a video usually.
Yeah.
And then they cut it off, you know what I mean?
It's
Whether
true.
they're going to watch the rest later or not, you don't know because it doesn't count as a new view if they just paused it.
Yeah.
But like back in the day, I remember like YouTube and stuff, like views went up because that was the only thing people were watching on.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know?
Yeah.
And now they got IGTV, they got Twitch, they got YouTube Live, Facebook Live, IG Live. You know, they got everything, man. I mean,
everything.
I never imagined seeing like the amount of content that oversaturates like the internet so quickly each and every day. Like each and every day there's like it's like they just drop a bulk thing of like news. They're like, here's today. You know?
Yeah.
Go through what you want, leave what you don't.
Yeah.
Take what you need, leave what you don't.
Well, there's a lot though, right? You know, like there's like everybody is an artist, everybody's an actor, everybody's
and
like
everybody
whatever,
could showcase it now, whether it's visual arts, if it's beat making, rapping, singing, dancing, writing movies, writing novels, etc.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
they could showcase it on multiple platforms and monetize off that.
Yeah, exactly.
So this era is good for monetization, I think.
Well, for sure, definitely.
Like, I think the people, with how COVID affected the music industry and live shows, I think the people who are eager enough to put out music during those rough times, if their mental health wasn't being fooled around with by it, which we'll get into later, the mental health things, but I think if they were eager and they put out music like they were, and some people were making money during COVID regardless with their streams.
No, for sure, yeah.
You know, so
it helped.
That's a good thing. Like, at least there's still a check coming to you when you need it.
Yeah.
Because like COVID was rough, I'm sure it was rough for you. I'm sure you missed live shows yourself when you were.
Yeah, that was my main thing. So
yeah.
Kind of hurt me for a bit, but it was okay.
Yeah.
Bounce back.
You used to have a lot of shows from in like the 2010 era and that era around there.
Yeah.
You got more shows now that you progressed even more in your career?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Sometimes it's overwhelming. I get double booked, like, constantly. So, it does happen. And that's also because I do different avenues. Like, I am a DJ. I am a live beat performer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I write for bands. I still play drums for bands, like stuff like that. So, like, I'm just, like, booked in all different types of avenues. And usually double booked, but still make it happen if I can. Shouts to Tamal. You know what I'm saying? He was, like, the first one I really did, like, a double booking day. Did two shows in, like, the same hour. So, like, it was kind of cool.
Okay.
In Hull and in Ottawa. So, like, it worked. Made it work. But, yeah, man, like, it's a journey doing it that way.
And how would you describe that journey from, like, when you first started up to now? Like, if you had to use one word for it, like, what one word would specifically describe Circa Beatz in the last, say, 15, 16 years? Because I know you started way before we met.
Yeah.
So when did you start, actually? Let me ask that first.
I started, like, well, on a hip hop scale, definitely started, I would say 2004, the earliest, I think. And then anytime before, like, 2002, was, like, I was doing hardcore and punk. Like, so I was a drummer for, like, hardcore and punk bands. So, yeah, it was, it started way before that even. Like, I started playing drums, like, in church when I was 4. So, like, in front of, like, thousands of people. So
you've been around music your whole life?
My whole life, yeah. Like, basically, my parents bought me these little toy drumsticks, and I just kept going ham with it, you know what I mean? And, yeah, pretty much it was definitely just, like, just took over everything, like, music just, you think blew my mind.
You think music helped you, like, keep on, like, like a good path?
Yes, definitely.
Because I like to say that the arts save lives.
Yes, they do actually.
You would agree with that?
Definitely agree with that. It can, like, in a way, kind of distract you from whatever the problem is. Sometimes it can bring you closer to the problem, but maybe a better understanding if it does that.
It could bring you to the problem in a therapeutic way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, like I was asking, if you had to describe your journey, say in the last 15, 16 years, what's one word that would describe Circa Beatz right now?
Fun.
Fun? I like it. I like it.
Definitely
That's what it's supposed to be, though, right?
Oh, for sure, definitely. Like you can't enjoy it and you can't be in the music industry and not have fun. Like, it. Come on now, you know what I mean?
You can't be doing something and not like it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That goes for anything, but specifically music. Like, you can't be in the music industry and not have fun. Like,
I wouldn't be a podcaster if I didn't like talking to people. You know what I mean?
Word up.
And I've always been a networker. You know me. I've always networked with whenever I can. Whoever's there, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna shake hands whether we do something or not. You're gonna remember me.
Word up.
You know what I mean?
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah. So, yeah, fun. That's a good word because you always were fun, man. Especially at the radio station. Like I think those were some of like the best times we kicked it when we were there. Like me and Mike and whoever else was with me at the time because we always rolled deep. Like, and we always brought the booze and shit. Like, we're always turned up in the station and, like, we're trying to hide it. Allegedly. Allegedly turned up in the studio.
Right.
You know? You won't hear that on my radio drop, though. I sounded all right. But, yeah, definitely a good time. But let's talk about today, like, presently.
Right.
What artists are you working with in the city right now, like currently? Do you have any projects or collaborations you have going with anybody right now?
Like in and out of the city. Like,
in and out of the city. Canada in general.
I'm not gonna name everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got some on the low situations happening.
Mm-hmm.
But like, me and Coochie Carter, which is my cousin out of Montreal, together as a group we are called GMTA, which is Great Minds Think Alike.
I like that.
So we're putting out our second project soon. You know what I mean? We're working on the second project right now.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully you'll probably hear me rapping a little bit more too.
Word?
You know what I'm saying? I've got a couple bars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A 1-2 bar. You know what I mean? But we got a project like that coming out.
And the name of the first project was what again?
GMTA. It was just
self-titled?
Self-titled,
And the second project is going to be self-titled, just part 2, or you have another project name? Can you drop the project name?
Can't necessarily say it just now, but like, you know what I mean? It might just be a GMTA 2 just for, for the series situation. But like, we might cook up something nice, just got to wait for that.
All right.
Yeah, there's that. Like for me, I do a lot of like solo things as well, which I'm working on to get put out. I'm trying to put out this project called Broken Play Button, which is me just playing a bunch of just live sets as people see me usually do as live sets, but it'll be in audio form.
That's dope.
And I'm trying to do it on a cassette. So there's going to be a side A, side B. You know what I mean? It's like 10 minutes or 15, 20 minutes per side.
So basically. You're gonna put on cassette?
Yeah, it will be put on a cassette at some point. You know
you're
what I mean?
gonna have to holler at me with one of those.
Right.
I gotta put that on the wall of dope.
Word, But yeah, it's gonna be coming out. Like, I'm hoping before the end of the year, if I get the cassettes situation all situated, you know what I mean? Then that will be coming out.
That's dope. That sounds exciting, man. And you worked with Spit and Image. For some reason, I bring up Spit and Image in my interviews with artists around the city a lot. I think it's because everybody's familiar with him. And
he's legend.
He was a very open guest on season 1.
Word.
Like about the mental health and stuff like that. Very, very open. People were very like in awe of how honest and vulnerable he was to the questions and stuff. So shout out to Spit and Image. But you worked with him on a track on that new album Arrival.
Yes.
How was working with Spit and Image?
I always work a spin image. I think on every project I've been on, I think maybe not the first one. I think maybe not, but like yeah, every project you put out, like I've been involved with it, and he's like, he's just good people. It's like I really respect his work ethic and what he puts out. His final products are always like they still come out dope. Like you know what I mean, and it's always just a pleasure to work with him.
Now he's releasing under State Platinum with Bully Zone.
Right.
Shout out Bully Zone.
Right.
He was season finale for season 1.
Right.
And yeah, definitely good sound came from that track when I heard it with Happy Kills. Shout out Happy Kills.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your cuts are always nice, man. Like,
respect.
Did you have a mentor for when you started DJing?
My uncle was the one that taught me. Basically, we just had it in the basement of my grandma's house. R.I.P. my grandma.
Rest in peace to your grandmother. Mine just passed away in June as well.
Okay. Condolences.
It's all good, man. It's life.
Yeah. But my uncle would taught me with that, and and then pretty much I just looked up to everybody I was really with. So like everybody on the Cypher show, Campbell and So Nice, like I looked up to both of them very highly. You know what I'm saying? And Campbell was like my fave just because he was literally like in any club, he always knew the songs to play. You know what I mean? Every time like I'm at like a 95 BPM and he'll like come in from, you know what I mean? We were smoking a ting or what? Allegedly, he was smoking a ting, you know what I mean? And then after he'll come in and be like, oh yeah, play this song based on it has the right BPM. And he just knows like right away. And he always like,
you just know how to catch that vibe, huh?
Yeah, and he was always just like the hypest, and then So Nice was like nice with the cuts and this and that. So I learned a little bit of cuts just from So Nice, just watching him, and like, and being on the show with him, I learned a lot just from being on the show with him. So like, he's those are literally my mentors. Like, you know what I mean? And shouts to Illo too. Illo is my guy, you know what I mean?
Ottawa staples.
Yeah, so, definitely. Like, shout to So Nice and Buck and Nice, like they're really, they're still, I think they're maybe working on some new shit, hopefully. But
yeah, shout out Sawbuck, he's always been dope.
Yeah,
I forgot about Buck and Nice, to be honest, and I hate to say that, but yeah, that was a dope duo.
Yeah.
And the videos they put out, when they put out that project like years ago, all the videos they made, I think they come out I think So Nice comes out a trunk of a car or something. I forget the video, but
wow,
it's been a long time.
Comes out the trunk of a car, like
in the video he comes out the trunk of a car or something and beaten up. I might be mistaking the wrong video. I'll have to check it up later.
Live, shout to So Nice. Yeah, you gotta tell me about that.
He was acting in that video. He was good. Shout out So Nice.
Word up.
But yeah, no, that's dope. That like a lot of I don't see a lot of artists give the love and recognition to people that they had respect for and looked up to in the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For example, I spoke with Justin Diamond on season 1, and when I was making music, he was Diamond in that era. Remember?
Yeah.
So he was high up there. He was doing shit with Deuce. He was doing shit with everybody. He was dropping that first album.
Everybody, name him.
And he was. He wasn't doing a lot of collabs with just anybody, but he let me break the ice, welcome me in, and I looked up to Diamond when I was making music. I was like, this dude's nice with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like he even called me out on it on the show, fucking guy.
Yeah.
He's like, just say it. You looked up to me. And I'm like, yo, okay, facts.
Okay,
But like I don't find a lot of like independent artists are willing to say like, oh yeah, my boy like was the one who gave me the influence, you know what I mean?
Word, yeah.
They're always first to put it on someone famous. And I'm like, yo, give flowers to your friends, man. Before it's too late. You know what I mean?
They deserve their flowers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like shout out Belly, he just put out a track called Flowers. That's a dope track.
Word.
I just saw him perform it live on Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
It was dope. His new album's out.
Yeah. See you next Wednesday or something?
Yep.
Just
came out, I think today or yesterday.
Okay.
But yeah.
Shouts to Belly.
Yep. You know another Ottawa legend.
You know, super legend.
Yeah.
Rock.
Get it. Throw up the rock. Yes, Belly.
You know.
But when it comes to DJing, what do you find the toughest? What did you find was the toughest thing to learn? Was it the cuts, the transitions, just knowing what vibe is in the club or outside, wherever you may be? Your stage presence, maybe.
I would say something close to that. Basically, keeping the crowd. It was hard at first. Just understanding what to do when you're I've been in a bunch of clubs and seeing other DJs do it, but then when you're the one that's DJing and you're making sure you're playing the right songs for the moment, what is the biggest song right now, you know what I mean? And you play that after this song or before this song, or you know what I mean? So you had to. At first it was tough, even though I was I don't think I've made any mistakes with it, because people are always jumping in my club, but you know what I'm saying, it was tough just putting them together. And then I can bring up the Kid Gorgeous again, you know what I'm saying, he was the one that was he would come in and be like, yo, play this one, it's the same BPM, this, you know what I mean? And it's and I just caught on to it. So okay, this is cool, But yeah, it was definitely, I would say, learning how to control the crowd. I wasn't really learning the cuts and stuff like that, or anything like that. I was mixing. It was just natural to me. Technically, I just knew how to match beats, knew how to cut it this time, because I listened to a lot of mixtapes. So I looked up to a lot of mixtape DJs. So Green Lantern,
the mixtape days, bro. Those were the days.
Word, yeah, man.
Mixtape days, man. Yeah. Gangster Grills.
Yeah, man. Just drama.
Man.
But
say for an upcoming DJ right now, what advice would you give them?
Practice a lot, whatever. If you're a scratch DJ, do it every day. You know what I'm saying? Do it every day. Scratch. Go home after, if you have another 9 to 5 or something like that, go home and do that. Scratch. Learn how to get all the scratches in. Learn how to use the crossfader the right way, the up faders. If there's up fader scratches, you can do all of that. Just know your equipment. Know your equipment and practice. It's there's no such thing of too much practice unless you're tired. But you know what I'm saying? There's no such thing of too much practice. So you gotta just keep going, I don't know any pros that don't practice. So you gotta think of that.
You still practice daily?
I still practice, not with the scratching, not with scratching or DJing technically, is more production. But yes, I do.
Yeah.
Try to practice as much as, I got to where I wanted to be in DJing. So I kind of stopped practicing myself. But you know what I mean? But if there's any newer things, I watch new DJs out there and doing their thing. So I try to keep up if I need to get into it. But I like to stay with my production at this point.
Okay, that's what's up.
What's good, y'all? You're on the line with Hanley. You already know what it is. It's your boy Circa Beatz with a Z, and you're about to get into this big tune right here. It's called GMTA of the EP. Let's go.
Circa Beatz. It's Koji Carter. GMTA. Real city to Cap City.
Come take a walk with me, let me bring you on a journey. I hope you got some time, you're not in a hurry. Let me clear the picture up, in case your vision's blurry. This is how it really is out on the curb, G. Real G's I know, seen their lives fade away. Drugs fucked them up bad in a major way. The hood ain't always the safest place, but if it wasn't for the block, you might not have ate today. And it ain't good if you skipping meals, cause when that hunger kicks in, the shit is real. Price says can't afford, but you can steal. Evil thoughts in my head is like a movie reel. This is just a sample of how we live. They tell you what they want, I tell it how it is. I came up in LaSalle and I'm proud of it, but if you think shit's sweet here, you're out of it. Ain't nothing sweet on this side, fam, trust me. It's a small city, but we get busy out here in Montreat. 514 to the 613, let's go. We probably couldn't imagine over half the things we go through. All alone in the streets with no one to hold you. Asking God for guidance, something to show you. Cause you never chose that life, that shit chose you. Some parents weren't around, but the hood was there. Bunch of mean mugs and crooked stairs. There's always something going on, the hood affairs. I'ma shine like a star when you look up there in the sky. Homie, I'm in the sky. A lot of rappers hit the booth and put on a disguise. Real shit only, I don't give them lies. Never catch me on the net beefing in replies. Save your comments, I ain't with the nonsense. Got a few weed stashes by the complex. Your lyrics is cool but lack the content. Great minds think alike, that's the project. Great minds think alike, that's the project. Great minds think alike, that's the project.
So, tell me more about your beat making process. Like, how does that go? Because everybody's different, right?
Yeah, it's true. I'm very random, to tell you the truth. I make beats on like literally anything and everything, except for computers. I don't really like to, but I still do in ways. But I mean, mostly on the MPC. I use the MPC as my mothership. Yeah, so I don't really like to sample as much anymore. But yeah, playing keys, drums, everything that I can sample into the MPC, and then I just chopped it up and like put that into beat mode, you know what I'm saying? And that's about it. And try to go as fast as possible.
And the samples that you use, are they usually yours that you made, or do you still like shop for samples through records and stuff? And
that's like basically I don't like to do records anymore. I think it's just, I don't know, maybe I just played it out, I guess, you know what I mean? But I still love the art of it, you know, technically, but it's like, I don't know, I just feel like everybody does that now and just want it to be different. So I kind of like chop up my own stuff. Like I'll play a guitar or like I play pretty much every instrument basically. So like I just record something that I'm doing and then put it all together somehow, you know what I mean? Or I'll just like make my tunes with like plugins or like, you know, MIDI instruments or anything. My iPad, I use my iPad like, you know, for like instruments that are on there, and I sample them into the MPC or something or anything, you know, and basically.
What's the weirdest thing you'd use to make a sample?
Because I've seen people, not so weird, but it was a railing, just a railing. I was using it I used that as a snare actually. It sounded like just a click. It's a railing.
Like you just tapped it.
Yeah, okay. I just tapped it, and then after I just turned it into a snare.
I always want to ask producers and beat makers that, because like I've seen some people use some weird shit before, you know, like people like squishing a watermelon and shit, and I'm like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
Well, you know, even that kind of stuff, like that's really what you hear in all movies, technically. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when like a brain got splattered across like a wall or something like that. That's what you hear, a watermelon. Like, you know what I mean?
It's true.
You know, like, I mean, a lot of sounds come from random things like that. So, you know, and you can just literally click just like this and like make that into a note if you wanted to, you know what I mean? It just depends how far you want to get with sound design.
Yeah.
Basically. So, you know, it's like, as long as you're keeping up with sound design, you should be making anything out of anything, you know, technically.
And your beats still have that like 90s feel, like boom bap, lo-fi, like you said before the interview, and type of sound, eh?
Yeah, like
you're not like a big trap beat maker, eh?
I'm not a beat maker that does it. Like honestly, like
but you could,
I love it 100%. You have to understand that like some of my favorite artists do trap only. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? I like to turn up. Like, you know, just making it is just different. You know what I mean? I just feel like everybody makes it. You can get that producer to make it if you want that. Just don't ask me for it. But like, you know, but I enjoy it. I enjoy like all the trap, the, you know, the drill, all of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's actually very fascinating, and I love drill actually. How the drums are.
I like drill
totally different.
Too,
you know, the drums are really like unique. So I really fucked with drill.
There's a new artist in the city that moved here from Ireland. His name's Steph Lyon.
Okay, yeah, I heard of him.
Well, I interviewed him on my YouTube series, Rum Chats.
Word.
And like, I was basically one of the first people in the city to actually find out who he was and what he was about and stuff, you know. So I was like, this is dope, because he makes drill music, because, you know, he's from Ireland and like Europe. They're all about their drill music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
That's
like,
true.
it's dope. He's a dope artist for sure. Like, drill music, I definitely caught on. I listened to his and I'm like, yo, I want to listen to more. I've been listening to a lot of drill music. I'm still in the trap, but you know, it's been out a long time.
Yeah.
But I still love it. Like you said, the turn up to it is great. It's just, I can't listen to it on repeat.
You know, each your own. It's really, that's what it is. Each your own, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
some things I can. Not all. I can't say all of it I can't listen to on repeat, but there's some things like a full album, like I couldn't play it and then replay it all again. When I replayed it, I'd probably be skipping tracks to hear the ones that I fuck with the most. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. They put out great content. Trap artists put out great content. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, for sure.
But it's just, like I told you, I'm still like stuck in that era of like 90s.
You got your vibe,
DJ
you know?
cuts and like, you know, like.
Yeah. You got your vibe. You know, everyone has their feel that they want to listen to. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
So it is what it is.
You remember those vocal samples Dipset used to use in their beats in the mixtapes and shit?
Yeah.
Do you use any of those?
Well, that's like using just records and sampling records and speeding it up, and then it sounds like a chipmunk, or slow it down. It sounds like
DJ Screw
deep voice. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, if I'm sampling and like, you know, I like, by the way, like Dipset was, you know, I grew up on Dipset.
Yes,
like,
sir.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
I saw Cam when he came to Ottawa, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, I was the one that took all the pictures. I was a photographer that night. So like, you know what
really?
I'm saying? Yeah, I was a photographer that night. Like, you know what I mean? I'm the one on that pictures, you know what I mean? Let it be known.
Wasn't there? Weren't you under a different Instagram name for that?
Nope. It's still Circa Beatz. I was
really?
That was for Cap. I was shooting for Cap City that night.
Oh, okay. But, I didn't even know you were there. Damn it. You were talking about the one last March, right? In 2020?
Oh, no, not that one.
Oh, so I'm talking about the last one. The one right before the pandemic hit. It was the last show Ottawa had before the pandemic hit.
Okay.
I saw Cam. And I
didn't get to catch that one.
It was his
when
15th Purple Haze anniversary.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, "Fuck, I'm definitely going to that shit." That I turned up there for sure.
Yeah, shouts to Cam.
Oh man, he still got it. You see that versus Dipset versus the Locks?
Unfortunately, I saw it.
It was crazy, man.
You know,
Locks went to town on that shit, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Shouts to Jada Kiss. Jada Kiss is a real performer.
Like he says, man, top 5 dead or alive.
You know, he's been saying
and
that.
No one ever contests him. No one ever questions it.
Never.
You know, other people say it. They're like, eh. Jada says it. Everybody's in the room. It's just like, yeah, I guess, yeah.
real shit. You know what I'm saying? He's really up there. You know, top 5. He really lives up to that status for real.
Yeah,
for real. You know, so
definitely, man. And he's doing a lot for artists right now too.
Word.
Like there's an artist out of Cambridge named Millies. He works with him a lot. Dope.
Word.
Yeah, definitely dope.
Oh, man.
I could see Millies on a beat of yours. Definitely. So you should try and work that shit out.
Let's get it.
I'll spam that guy and I'll get him to reach you, bro.
You know,
because that'd be a dope look.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, if you're down, we could get into the mental health talk.
Word.
What would be your first thing you think of when someone says mental health or mental illness? Compared 10 years ago to now, because I find now people are more accepting than even just 10 years ago. Because it's more understood.
Yeah. I think like today, I think we just have a more broader look onto it. I mean, in terms of like the information that we have, like we have YouTubes and everybody's posting. So like you get a lot of different opinions and different perspectives about what it is. So like I mean, it's hard to really like
It
so
is
like when you say mental health and mental illness, like that's two different things.
They are two different things.
You know what I mean? So like if you're talking about mental illness, I think I'm just thinking illness. You know what I mean? But like you're saying health, it could be your mental state. Like maybe
you're right.
Maybe you could be saying like, what's your mental state before you go
on
stage?
So I guess it's both. It's two questions. I guess like what would you say about mental health when you first hear it, and then what would you say when you hear mental illness when you first hear it? Because I'm diagnosed with mental illness, so like it hits close to home. Like I have diagnosed with bipolar and agoraphobia.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know what agoraphobia is, but it's like
not fully.
Just that fear of being outside, basically, like in crowds, like shit like that. You know, you get a little paranoid and shit like that.
Okay.
It's not like fully bloomed in me yet. I still get out, obviously, as you can see.
Yeah.
But like I said, like I don't like taking public transportation. It's too packed. A lot of shit, just, you know what I mean? So like that's why this hits close home for me with the mental health talk and the mental illness talk. So yeah, I was just saying that just to open up so you get where I'm coming from and why I talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those two words or two phrases, mental health and mental illness, what do you think when you first hear each one separately?
Mental health, how you're keeping it healthy, if that makes sense. How you're keeping your brain thoughts and your actions, like what you think when you're doing things, like if it's a healthy choice. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then illness, I would say you're focusing technically on a problem or an illness, quote unquote, and you're just, like you're really focusing on that, and you're either trying to fix it, trying to recognize it, trying to, yeah, that's when you say illness like that. But like, I don't know really what would both be technically, but I'm just saying.
No, it's your, like I said, it's your opinion. It's a question.
Yeah.
I appreciate the answer. Do you, during COVID, or actually let's start with your music and stuff, have you ever had a time where it affected like your mental health at all? Like,
yes, definitely.
Because as much as it helps people, sometimes it could be overbearing. Yeah,
it definitely is, especially, like as you know, I do like music full time.
Yeah.
So, like what I used to always use, or I shouldn't say used to, technically I still do, but, back then it was definitely more using music as my escape and like, getting my mind back to where I should have my mind.
Did you find you were trying to get back to where your head state should be a lot while you were making music?
Sometimes.
And what would cause that?
Like anything really, it was mostly business, just because of the fact that
could be strenuous.
Yeah, it's mostly business, just because of the fact of I used to just make music to make music. It was just fun to me. You know what I mean? And then like I wanted to make it a business, so like it's not like I'm like upset that I did it, but I'm just saying like, it was just hard to really deal with the fact that you have to really focus on making money, and like gotta pay the rent, gotta do this, gotta do that. You know what I mean? And then also being very, into
when you're young and making music. When you're young and making music, it's all fun and games, and
exactly.
Then you get older and you realize like I got bills to pay.
Exactly.
I might have a family I gotta feed. Like
exactly.
So business in music, especially, is very hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to negotiate, and all it is a renegotiation. It's just.
Yeah, how much the other person doesn't want to pay you.
You're fighting for you're in your head. You're wondering what your worth is, because you're wondering why they're renegotiating so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for some people it's like that. Yeah, like I like to stick. Like I know what my worth is, so I stick with my amount. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of my money worth. You know, I'll always stick with my number, and that's what it is. And like, you know, but it was sometimes very just stressful dealing with it because of the fact that other people couldn't pay that, or it was agreed on before you do the event or whatever the situation is, and then it's not that after you've done your thing, and it's like that just stressed me out, and it's like, you know, I'm getting upset. I don't want to make this and that and spend hours on hours editing this little sound, like, you know what I mean, to not get paid. And it's like, you know, just annoying when it comes to business wise, but you just gotta go through it. Technically,
making music helped you get back to your headspace. Did anything else help you get back to your headspace? Anything in particular other than music?
No, music. Just like literally, because I played every instrument. You know, I still play instruments. So like everything, literally, name it, I play it.
Yeah,
so
you're
like,
you're a jack of all trades when it comes to this shit, man.
Yeah, you know, like that's how I see it. That's how other people see it as well too. Sometimes I go to like music stores and literally just play everything in the store, and before I leave, like I never go in a music store and just not play everything. Like literally, like you should follow me like that. But I'm just saying, like, no, for real, it's like, you know, having a good headspace, using music for it is really helped. Like I've definitely like helped myself just by making music, like not even the fact of listening to music or listening to my favorite artists or whatever. It's literally making music, like specifically that helped my mental health, not necessarily listening to other people's songs because that's their opinion, that's their, and it could be relatable. Like, you know, I mean, I listen to even Drake, you know what I'm saying? Even Drake, like The Views, that's my favorite album from Drake, The Views album. You know what I'm saying? Everything's relatable in the album, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, still to this day. You know what I'm saying? Very relatable. Yeah. But like at the same time, I'd rather just make something so that I think I just get more involved or in depth with what I'm making and get so like
it takes your mind off everything.
Yeah,
and
you know, when I'm listening to something, I can look somewhere.
Yeah,
and, you know, and get distracted. So,
and mental illness, does that strike you or anybody close to you at all?
Yeah, I have friends, some family that it affects them. I mean, I feel like I have that. What was the illness you said before?
Agoraphobia?
Yes, I feel like I have that a little bit. You know what I mean? Like even though, yes, a lot of people have seen me at like Blues Fest. I did Blues Fest 4 years in a row.
It doesn't mean inside, like, you know,
I hate being there. Like, you know, I absolutely hate being there. I can't stand the crowds. If anyone ever noticed, if I was at like a festival, I was always backstage. I never came to the crowd. Never. Like, you know what I mean? I just always stayed backstage until I was ready to play. And then I get out, like, you know what I mean? Try to sneak out, like leave, go back home, like, you know what I mean?
That's interesting. I didn't think that of you because of the way you control the crowd. You would think that, like, you're right there with them, but you don't know what people are thinking. You know, like he's doing his job. This is his job. You know what I mean? You have a 9 to 5. He has a 9 till whenever the fuck it stops.
You know.
So that's interesting to hear that you think you may have something similar. You may. It's not uncommon. I mean, people have it.
Yeah.
And it's not always aggressive. Sometimes it's mild. Like mine's mild.
Okay.
And I'm the same way. Like when I perform, like, yeah, I perform and stuff, but I fucking hated being on stage, man.
Okay.
Like, you know, like I tried to interact with the crowd and stuff as much as I could, but once the show was over and whatever, I was like, drop the mic. I'm out. I'm going to the bar.
Well, for me, it wasn't really. It was not like the fact of me not. I was actually most comfortable on stage, like most comfortable. And remember, like if you really break down everything that I do, like I'm DJing, I'm looking down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm playing beats, I'm looking down. I'm playing drums physically, I'm looking at the drum set. Yeah. So like I was just comfortable because I'm making music, I'm in my zone, and that's it. And there just happens to be a crowd there. You know what I'm saying? And then after, like I said before, how like learning to control the crowd was the hardest thing, you know what I mean? Which is like, I just didn't know at first how to really control the crowd, like talk to them. When do I talk? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, when do I start shouting out everybody in the club? Like when I, you know, what song do I play next? And like, you know, it was just harder at that point. But, you know, like I really feel like, you know, that I have that kind of illness, I guess you can say, an illness of, you know, being out there in the public and stuff like that.
Mental illness doesn't discriminate, you know?
It doesn't discriminate, you know?
At all.
But yeah, like, I've been like that too on the bus. Like, I don't like taking buses. Like, I'm just so happy to have my car now, good to go. But like, I hated taking buses, trains, all of that. And like, I don't even go into stores during the day. Not because it's COVID. Like, I literally just don't go into stores during the day. I'll always be there when it's about to close. Walmart, I'll be there like, closes at 11 p.m. I'm there at like 10:50. And I'm like, what I mean, getting everything I need. Like, for real. Like, I don't, I'm kind of like that. Some people don't see me out there like that. So maybe it's noticeable that I have that illness. You know what I mean? Some people don't see me out there at all. Like,
You never know, man.
I'm always in the stew. That's real talks right there. Always in the stew, just making music.
You're stuck at home. Or you're first.
Exactly.
And you said you had some friends and family that deal with it. Did they ever come to you for advice? And if they did, what did you what words would you, if they did come to you, hypothetically, what would you say to them? But if they have actually came to you, what did you say to them?
I'll go with if they did, because I don't like to bring their situations live.
That's fine,
but
bro.
I'm just saying, like, it has, in other words, it has happened. People have came to me. And I've actually gone to other people around my mental illness as well. But I would probably just, most of the time, to say, like, you just stop everything else that you're doing and focus on that, and just try to bring it, whatever the illness is, bring that to light and understand how to either maneuver around it, with it, or, you know what I mean? You have to get that straight. You have to be understanding of what your illness is and trying to deal with it, basically. You know what I mean? You might have to drop everything. Like, sometimes it's like people are distracted.
Well, like I said, that's what happened with me and my music. I just had to drop it because I was going through the motions, and now we're here. It's part of the journey. Yeah, like, it really is. Sometimes you just have to drop a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, it is a sacrifice, but sometimes you got to sacrifice to get further. You know what I mean? So like, that's all I can really say to them. I'm no pro on it, so like, you know what I mean? I would say you might have to go get a therapist or something like that, but here's my advice. You know what I'm saying? But I always like leave it up to them. Everyone makes their own choices, so so I feel you. No, that was great, man. And that's been On the Line With Season 2, Episode 9 with Circa Beatz. I'm your host, Hanley. I'll see you in a couple weeks. To the audience, thank you for listening. To the new listeners, thank you for tuning in. And if you enjoyed, tune in a couple weeks for our next episode. I appreciate all the love we've been getting. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. What's good? It's your boy, Circa Beatz, with a Z or with a Z if you're from the States. You already know. I'm on the line with Hanley right now. Let's go and listen to this song right now. It's called I'm a Problem. Bang.
I'm a problem.
M-Town to Old Town, baby.
I'm a problem.
It's Cool G. Circa Beatz. Hellbound Bishop. Soft up. Got it fat. They say I'm posing a threat for most of the vets. I'm just out here working, trying to grow and progress. Couple shows done now, I'm starting to earn my respect. But it's like they ain't giving the connect, cause I guess I go Rico style and paid in full. Mob on these punk niggas till my plate is full. Talking that street shit, I know a thing or two. Don't say shit on record, that's just principle. But this is my life and all the things that I've seen. Nothing's ever stopped me from following my dream. Waking up, my ears ringing from the siren. Balling at the court, end up witnessing a crime scene. That's no joke, take it in this reality. One day that's your man next, he's a casualty. Me and Circa killing the game casually, gradually building up a name for the faculty. It's gutter fat.
I'm a problem.
Fucking nice, baby. Got a fam. Cool G, what up? Circa, what up?
I'm a problem.
OT to MTL, baby. Let's get it. Look.
I'm a problem.
They say I'm
posing a threat. Those who know me know I'm known as the best. Composing these last easily mimic flows. Nobody gets stuck in your mind, going over your head. No quotas direct, no double meaning quotas suppressed. Spins got me overdose on respect. Rewound too much, can't go on cassette.
I'm a problem.
Sometimes I think the percentage of me being understood's around with Jay-Z on to the nets. Yeah, I stay shitting on them. Tired of dudes claiming freestyle. Like why would I waste writtens on them? Maybe if those coaster-worthy bars impress me like shit, my advice ain't free, I'ma just place dishes on them. Gutter fam and B&M, we drop enough ether. Rap game Vince like throwing up a buzz beater. I stay hot, cold, chilling with the dumb fever. Let it hit you through your sub speakers. Boom.
I'm a problem. I'm a problem. I'm a problem.
Circa, what up?
I'm a problem. I'm a problem.
Is it the bars or is it the flow? Whatever it is, I'm rocking these shows. I got these young niggas thinking they can copy the flow, but then I go and switch it up, you couldn't handle this, no. You a nigga from the road, you better stay on your toes, cause the bitches you been fucking probably fucking your foes. It's just the stuff I done seen growing up on these roads. I know they hoping I fall off, but that don't bother me though. I got bills to pay, I gotta get to the dough. Family responsibilities, I gotta get more. And I was just like you, a little ghetto and broke. I had to pick myself up and now I'm back on the road. Who got the piff and the sticks and the shits for the low? I'm ready to blow, I'm faded, I've been facing the show. It's time to fuck this game up, they said that Bishop done grown. Bishop is home, so tell these clowns to get off the throne. Cause
I'm a problem. I'm a problem. I'm a problem. I'm a problem.